the spook.
The upstairs addict. It was late one evening. My dad was headed to a meetup and my brothers at a party. I was left home alone. It was dark and cold outside, almost as if death had come and swallowed the quiet neighborhood. I felt hungry, so I got up to get a sandwich. My cat rubs against me as I walk down the long hallway from my room. I pass by the empty living room and into the kitchen, where I begin to make my sandwich. Honey ham with cheddar cheese and mustard. It had always been my mom's favorite, at least up until she had died in a car crash. After finishing the sandwich, I take it to my room. "Come, Sarah," I say to my cat. As I hopped up on my bed, my cat jumps up and lays next to me as I begin to eat the sandwich and turn on the TV. I begin to watch Finding Nemo when suddenly I hear a creaking noise come from the attic above me. "What was that?" I say to myself. I get up and head to the ladder that leads to the attic. Hopefully nothing had fallen and broken upstairs. Come to think of it, I don't really know what's up there. My dad had never really wanted my brothers and I up there after my mom's death. I pull down the creaking attic ladder, and I begin to ascend into the dark attic. It was pitch black. I pull out my phone as a flashlight. After scanning the scene, I find a light bulb hanging down from the top. I turn it on. Though the light portraying from the bulb was dim, it was still enough for me to be able to see. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, just boxes and old furniture covered by dusty old white blankets. After surveying the room, I come to the conclusion that nothing is wrong, and I return to my room. As I get into my room, I look at my clock. It reads 8:30 p.m. A feeling of tiredness overcomes me. I decide to lay down on my bed and rest my eyes. Boom! I suddenly wake up to a loud noise from upstairs. I look over at my clock to see what time it is. It reads 9:15 p.m. What was that noise? I then hear a low, muffled voice saying, "Death is near." Spooked, I get up and head to the attic. As I walk up the creaking ladder, I hear a scratching noise coming from within the attic. I slowly lift my head into the dark room, expecting to find something fallen over. I stand up and turn the light on, but to my surprise, once again, everything was where I had left it. This struck me as an odd thing because what could have made that noise? So I decide to leave the attic light on as I leave. Once I get downstairs, I walk over to the living room and lay on the couch where I text my friend Jess, who is at a friend's party. She doesn't respond, indicating she's probably partying way too hard right now. Unlike me, she's the party type. It seems as though every weekend she's at a different one. I grab the remote and turn on the TV to see what's on. Just lame Halloween shows, so I just put on the news. Watch out, weekend goers, for there is a big storm brewing. We will be reporting on it tonight at 10 p.m., so stay tuned. Unlike a lot of people, storms actually excite me. Something about the way the clouds are and the lightning gives me a sort of enjoyable vibe. "Here, kitty kitty," I say to my cat, whom I had previously left on my bed. Oddly enough, though, I don't get the usual response of a meow that she usually gives me. "Sarah," I say, "here, kitty kitty." Once again, no response. So I get up and head to my room to check on her. As I walk into my room, I find her missing. Where could that cat be? I start to walk around the house, but now she's nowhere to be seen. She's probably just upstairs sleeping somewhere, I think to myself. As I walk upstairs, I begin to hear a hissing sound coming from the attic. Is that Sarah? How did she get in the attic? I slowly start to walk up the stairs toward the entrance of the attic. Every step I take produces a creaking noise from the old staircase. As I get to the top, I peer over to where the ladder is that leads to the attic, but I notice something peculiar. The light in the attic had previously left on is now turned off. This started to scare me a little. I slowly walk over to the attic and begin my climb, to which felt like decades. As I climb into the attic, a weird feeling overcomes me. Although nothing looks different, besides the light being off, an uncomfortable feeling surrounds me, almost as if all the happiness inside is gone and replaced with a more sinister feeling. "Sarah," I whisper, but I get no response. I reach for the light switch, but when I pull down on the metal chain, nothing happens. I try again in hopes that maybe the first time I just didn't pull hard enough. Again, nothing happens. I try to see around me, but the blinding darkness restricts my vision. I feel as if I'm being watched. Significantly scared now, I turn around and quickly rush towards the ladder and rush down it. The idea of me being home alone now isn't as fun as I originally hoped it would be. I begin to feel sweat creep down the side of my head. I head into the kitchen where I get a bottle of water. The cool water is refreshing to me. Maybe I'm just imagining things, I think to myself. I'm sure being in a big house on a dark night has effects on people. I'm just going to lay down and get some sleep. Maybe that will help, I think to myself. I grab my phone and head over to my room. The time is now 9:55. I'll wake up in the morning and everything will be okay. I wake up to a loud shrieking noise coming from the attic. Now I'm terrified. What do? Do I call the police? To be on the safe side, I will. I type in 911 on my phone. I heard the operator say, 911, what's your emergency? I respond, I feel like someone is in my attic and I don't know what to do. He responds by asking for my address and saying, try to get some distance between you and that room. Is there anyone else home with you? I tell him no and that my address is 5304 Pennington Drive. He then goes on to tell me that a unit has been notified and is on its way. I decide that despite what he told me, if there is someone upstairs, it will take them too long to arrive. I grab a pair of scissors out of my bag and quickly run up the ladder. As I turn the corner into the hallway, I see the ladder quickly fly up into the attic, almost as if someone or something had lifted it. By now, the storm is starting to kick in. The crackle of thunder shakes the house and illuminates the long, eerie hallway. I start to slowly walk over to the hole that leads into the attic. As I look up into the dark attic, the ladder suddenly falls back down, almost hitting me. By now, I know something is wrong. I cautiously lift one hand up and grab onto the ladder. One slow step at a time, I begin my ascent to the ominous room. I'm now inside. Inside, I feel like I'm dead. Scissors in hand, I call out, "Who's up here?" No response. "The police are already on their way." Again, nothing. I begin to walk around the room, more scared than ever. Not only can I barely see, but now I know I'm not alone. In the corner, I see something black and laying motionless on the ground. What is that? I say to myself. I slowly creep towards the mystery shape. As I get closer, I get a better look at it. And to my shock, it's Sarah. But she's been viciously murdered. Blood is everywhere. By now, I'm really starting to panic for who could have done this. I hear a laugh noise come from my right. I look over to see two yellow eyes staring at me. Scared out of my mind, I quickly get up and step away from the corpse when a hand touches my shoulder. Out of panic, I turn around, swinging the scissors into the mystery person's neck. As I did this, the light bulb in the attic turned back on, illuminating the breathless person as he falls to the ground with a huge thump. As I peer over the motionless body, a feeling of pure sickness overcomes me. For that person was my dad. Oh my God, what have I done? Suddenly, I hear the door break down and hear some voices of people entering the house saying, "This is the police." As they head up the ladder and see what had happened, they run in telling me to get on the ground. As they pick me up and take me downstairs, I repeatedly scream, "It wasn't me! It wasn't me! Someone's up in the attic! It wasn't me!" The eyes, the yellow eyes.